Let me say this loud and clear. No shadowy international group fronted by billionaires and outsourcers is going to take this election. I'm supported by people here in Connecticut standing behind me. This is a reminder about why we ran for Congress in the first place. We were watching Washington, D.C. get taken over by companies that wanted to outsource our jobs, by billionaires who wanted to turn government into a source of profits for themselves, and the middle class was getting left behind. The people behind me, the working class citizens of this district, were seeing government taken over by the few. These ads on TV right now, fronted by a shadowy, anonymous group of billionaire donors and multinational corporations, are a clear sign of what the difference is in this election.
Right.
If you wanted to know the difference between Sam Caligiuri and I, you just go home and watch TV tonight. You were going to see Sam Caligiuri supported by ads paid for by anonymous donors. Who knows who they are? They could be billionaires who want another huge tax cut to enrich themselves. They could be companies that want better policies to allow them to outsource more of their jobs. They could be Wall Street executives who want to make sure that the Wall Street reform bill is repealed next Congress. I'm supported by the people standing behind me. If Sam Caligiuri wants more shadowy billionaire organizations looking to outsource our jobs to support him, bring it on. We'll take more of it. Because we're going to go out there and do what we know best. We're going to go out there and talk to our neighbors, our family members, about how we want to grow jobs here in the United States of America, not in China. We're going to talk about why we need to put a referee back on the street to make sure that Wall Street doesn't run away with our money and doesn't cause another financial crisis. That's what we stand for. And we're going to talk about why it's important to invest in middle-class tax relief, not another massive tax cut for billionaires who are fronting these ads. Now listen, we don't know who's behind these ads. They're anonymous. What we do know is that the board of directors of this group, the American Action Network, is made up essentially of a laundry list of Bush economic figures. People who either participated in the disaster of the Bush economic policies or who benefited by those policies. They seek to bring back the policies that bankrupted this country. Now, Sam Caligiuri doesn't want you to know who's paying for these ads. Because if you did, you know who he's being supported by and you know what he stands for. You know that he supports the outsourcing of our jobs. That's why he is so opposed to my legislation to make sure that U.S. taxpayer dollars stay here to create U.S. jobs. They know that he wants to pass on $700 billion in additional deficits to this nation in order to fund tax cuts for the richest 2% of Americans. And they find out that he wants to repeal the Wall Street reform bill so that his friends on Wall Street can go back to making billions while the rest of us suffer. Well, the people behind me that support me know what I stand for. They know that I'm working on Buy American policy so that every single taxpayer dollar we send to Washington gets spent on jobs here in New Britain, in Waterbury. They know that I ran for Congress in the first place to stick up for the middle class, who had been getting the short end of the stick for too long, and to stop government simply being a source of revenue and a source of profit for those who outsource our jobs and those who take our money for their own enrichment. They know, the people behind me, that I went to Congress to make sure that while Wall Street makes a little bit of money, But Wall Street continues to be a source of innovation in this country, that they don't engage in predatory lending practices, that they don't get so big that they confront a risk to the entire economy. Listen, that's what I stand for. And I tell you, I think that these ads on the air and the over-the-top statements that they make are going to paint a very clear picture for people as to who is on my side and who's on Sam Caligiuri's side. Now, listen, you saw the look of surprise on my face. I was blown away when I walked into this room to see so many people here today, but it speaks to the strength of our campaign. It speaks to where our support comes from. And every time that we see one of these ads run by shadowy groups with anonymous corporate donors, that's going to inspire everybody behind me to knock on one more door over the course of the next 2 weeks. Listen, we don't have $1 million to put on the air. We're average, everyday Americans who just want our government to work for us. But we have the leather on the bottom of our shoes. We have hands that can go knock on doors. We have our voices that can speak up for what we believe is right. And while I'm sure we will have a flood of $5 and $10 contributions into our campaign as these ads go on the air, we know that we can work. That we can go out on the streets and talk about how we want our government back. And the last thing that we want to do is hand it back to the people that are running these ads on TV today.